So for this week's self-defense, we're going to talk about a couple of things that are useful. We're going to do a bear hug from behind, and we'll do a few moves after that. Maybe we have a very special guest this week. We have our black belt student, Jacob Davidson, who's visiting us from the Marines.
Hello.
He's going to be our helper. So let's remember our rules of self-defense. First rule, always be aware. If you are not paying attention, let's say Jacob is a kid and he's walking around. I'm a bad guy. He's not paying attention. He's maybe looking at his phone, and I can walk up and attack him very easily. I can grab him. I can hurt him very easily. So you have to pay attention. And remember, the second rule is keep your personal space. Keep your bubble. If Jacob is over here, if I get close and he lets me into his personal space, now I can very easily grab him or hurt him or punch him or something. But if I start to inch closer and he moves away, keeps me out of his space, now it gets a lot more difficult. Now I could jump or move and grab him, right? But if I do that, then that becomes very obvious. Other people may see it. If there are other people around, it's much easier for you to dodge and get out of the way. Okay? And rule number 3, run to safety if you can. And remember my old joke, watch a scary movie and do exactly the opposite of what they do in the scary movies. Don't run to the old abandoned farmhouse. Don't run to the lonely alley. Don't run to the place with no lights. If it's dark out, run to a place with lights. I always try to run to a place with people. Run to a place that looks clean and safe. If you can run to a place with people, it's better to run to a place where the people are wearing uniforms, like a Walmart or a police station. So run to safety if you can. Now, our self-defense technique is bear hug from behind. So we're going to go real slow with this, and we'll do it a bunch of different ways. So let's say Jacob is standing here, he's facing the camera. So I'm the bad guy. I come up from behind, I grab here. Now this is over the elbows, notice. That's really important. We'll talk about the variation in a little bit. So I grab here. Now the first thing he's going to do is go into his horse stance. And we'll put that in the video in a little bit. Then he's going to make his arms go down. You see this is kind of like an X block. And when he does that, his shoulders roll forward. So if you're looking at me, it's like this. That makes a gap right there. Now, he's going to take one arm up behind my hands, one in front, and then he's going to put his hands together. And then very quickly, in a forceful downward motion, he's going to separate his arms and push my grip apart. So go ahead and show that to us, just like that. Now, from there, is there something he could do? Yeah, he could attack. He could take one of his arms and throw the elbow back. Either way. Now, if you think that doesn't work, I have a scar right here that's where that came from. It worked really well, I promise you. He could also run away. He could attack us a couple different ways, and then he could get to safety. Okay? So now let's try that again. I'm going to go slow motion. I come up behind the bad guy. I grab. He goes down, arms come out, and break my grip, and then he's going to elbow strike, and then he could run to safety. Now, we'll try it from another angle so you see how this looks. And matter of fact, we'll do this as kind of a shadow drill. So he's going to stand there. I'm going to pretend to grab him from here. So now he's going to go through the move. So he will kind of push forward in his chest and go down to his horse stance. When he does that, I will go forward. Then when he pushes his arms down, that breaks my grip. Okay? So now I actually grab him this time. Come here. I grab. Down, see that? Arms come up and push. There you go. Now let's try it from the other angle. So we're here. This, down and boom. There we go. So, when you first get grabbed, now, and you can see him doing it really well, when you first get grabbed, don't just stand there and try to do the move. Matter of fact, let's go through that, Jacob. So let's say you're doing it the wrong way. So this is the wrong way. Don't do it this way, but I'm going to show you how important it is for these first few movements. If I grab him and he doesn't lean forward, he doesn't go down to the horse stance, that makes the move really hard. See, so even if he brings his arms up to try to break my grip, it's difficult. He has a much harder time to do it. I can still get a much closer grip to his body. So make sure you go down into that horse stance. Okay, so now we're going to do it at real speed. So let's say, Jacob, why don't you stand facing that way? Yeah. So I'm going to come up. He's there minding his own business, but really he should be aware. Really, I shouldn't be able to even get this close to him. But for whatever reason, he's not. And I come up, I'm going to grab, he's going to do the move at real speed. Hopefully he won't hurt me too bad. Okay. Just like that. Only difference would be is hopefully, especially younger people, run to safety. Now, there might be times when you may not want to run to safety. Maybe your grandmother is with you and you need to protect her. I would think very, very badly of myself if I abandoned my grandmother, just run away, be like, oh, sorry, Grandma, good luck. Don't do that. You may not have anywhere to run to. In that case, you may have to stay and defend yourself. But if you can, you need to go get out of that situation. Now, the variation on that is what if they get kind of high on your shoulders? Because you can see, we'll get that in a second. Because you can see from here, this is around close to his elbows. Now, if I get kind of high, there's lots of different things you can do on that, but it's not nearly as bad. This is kind of a bad position for the attacker. One thing you can do is take and put both your hands underneath their elbows, go down to your horse stance, and push up, and then sink under, and then twist your hips, and you're out. Okay? Another variation that you can do is something that Jacob was just showing me. So from here, if they grabbed here, show me the one you were talking about.
I was like you talking about if they grabbed you underneath the arms.
Oh, okay.
That's what I thought you was going to do.
So, underneath the arms, there's some really fun variations on that. So, underneath here, this is different. Now, really, you're not nearly as bad off if you're the one being attacked on this. Yeah, your hands are open, so just like Jacob did, you can elbow strike me to the head. That alone is quite a bit. You can grab my wrist, grab my fingers. Have you ever, maybe your uncle does milk the mouse, where you take the little pinky and kind of bend it back? You can do things like that. Yeah, that. You can do those things. The big one is, though, for simplicity's sake, throwing those elbow strikes, okay?
I'll kill it.
Yes. Well, let's talk about that. Now, we reviewed this a little bit, the last video we did last week, in the defense against the full Nelson. But you can use that same defense here. So let's say he's looking that way. As I come up and try to get my hands underneath him, he can lock his arms down, just like he's trying to squeeze the water balloons there. Just like that.
If he gets it in,
Yeah. And right there, he's grabbing my fingers, pulling down to extend the wrist in a way it shouldn't extend. Okay? We'll show the Marine variation. Boot camp? Yeah. Now, there's a fun variation. Please be careful at home. Remember what Spider-Man says. With great power comes great responsibility. Please do not hurt anybody. Please practice carefully. Also remember the other thing that Spider-Man says. Oh no, Uncle Ben. So, they grab. Here, he comes up like that.
wrap it up.
And then, of course, when you get the bad guy in that position, you can attack. Okay. Thank you, Robert. So with this self-defense dragon wing, Jacob will be joining us once again. This one is good against really 3 primary different attacks from the rear, from the back. But first, let's talk about the actual motion of the dragon wing. So a good way to think of it is you're standing here in your ready position, and your arm comes up to the side. And you're going to turn the same direction that your arm is up, then it goes down, and then up, like you're praying. Now that is the basic way to learn it and actually get the movement. Once you are doing it at full speed for self-defense, you won't worry about going back to this praying position. Okay? Or at least you don't have to. So here and around. Think of it almost like you're going to slap yourself in the leg, but don't actually slap yourself in the leg. So around there, okay? So I'll take you this time, Jacob. So this is really good for three main things. Right? Grab the shoulder from behind with one hand, grab the shoulder or both shoulders from behind with two hands, or the chicken wing or arm bar, right? So let's start with the simple one hand grab the shoulder. So I'm gonna grab his shoulder, whichever side the shoulder or the hand is grabbing, that's the side of his body that's gonna turn, okay? So I grab here, my right's on his right, he's gonna come around, and notice that it wraps up. Now from there he can swing around and push and put pressure on me and push me forward, just like that. All right? You don't have to push him over, you don't have to put that pressure on him, but why not? Right? So let's see, let's try it from a different angle. Jacob, why don't you come over here? Just that way. So now this way, when he does it, we should be facing the camera when he comes around. So I've got him grabbed, his arm comes over, wraps up, turns, just like that. Yep. And now from there, he has the option, he can attack, he can strike with his feet, whatever he wants to do. One thing you have to be careful about here, if he's facing that way, if I grab his right shoulder and he goes to his left, it will still technically work, but he could now be setting himself up for that, right? If he's not paying attention. Right? He's a good blocker, he's probably okay. But most people, you're going to walk right into that, or turn your head right into that face strike, okay? So one more time, we're grabbing one shoulder, he comes around, wraps it over, and push. Okay, good. All right. Now, two hands. I'm grabbing his shoulder with two hands. We go here, same exact move. Two key differences. This time, it doesn't matter which way he goes, because it's going to end up the same either way. And second thing is he wants to make the circle a little bit wider, a little bit more to the side, so that he wraps both of my arms up, okay? So from here, whenever he's ready, he goes around and wraps up both my arms, see? There you go. And now he's ready to strike with that arm. He can do maybe a chin na, he can do a couple of things. Okay, just like that. I probably couldn't see on the camera, that was a knee strike to my thigh. Very effective. So again, we're here, he comes around, just like that. Good. All right, so let's do that one more time. This is for my tennis elbow. I don't even play tennis. No, it's good. There you go, just like that. All right, so now the next one is for the chicken wing. That's what they used to call it when I was a kid. I also called it an arm bar. So to show us how this is going to happen, let's get a little bit closer. So this is when someone comes behind you, and a good way to learn it is we're squared up. I take my right hand, put it on his elbow. I take my left hand, put it on his wrist, like this, okay? Now, I know it doesn't seem like it, but this is really the same move. So now he's going to do the exact same dragon wing move, except now, be sure that you use your hand that's free, and you do not turn towards the arm that's being placed into that arm bar. So let's show how not to do it. So if I got him here and he tries to turn this way, it's going to do that, and there's a good chance he might pop out that shoulder. Yeah, that's totally, I saw a student do that once. So now, this way he's going to turn this way with the free arm and do exactly the same move. So it comes around, just like that. Now he's got my arms caught, and his right arm is now free to strike. Okay, try it again. So I come behind, grab, comes around, wraps it up, and strike. Okay, one more time. Grab, around, pull up, and strike. Okay, good. All right, thanks, brother. All right, and that is dragon wing. So this self-defense is grab the hair from the front, and we'll also do grab the hair from the rear. This is always a really tricky one to me, and this is one I worry about getting it right a lot. And again is the immaculate Jacob helping us today. So grab the hair from the front, and we'll do some variations on this also. So he's going to grab his right hand, mostly for two reasons. One, most people are right-handed, but I encourage you to train both ways just in case, right? Also, with the right hand, you can see him on the camera a little bit better. So first thing you want to do is protect your hair. If I stand here like this and he pulls, there's a good chance he could pull me forward, but also he could just pull out a handful of hair, and in real life, it's not just hair. Skin gets attached to that a lot of times. So hand goes over, here and here, and I'm going to clamp down. Now, this will give you a little bit of protection if he starts to punch that arm, because really, nobody's just going to grab and just stand there and look at you, right? They're going to start hitting with that arm. So that protection helps a little, but it's not going to help a lot. So you're going to try to move as quick as you can, right? So here, here. Now, from this, I'm going to step back with my right leg. It could be left, but for this, I'm going to do right leg. And I keep this gripping real tight on his wrist. And I'm going to push forward with my head. So if he lets go for a second, you'll see basically what's happening is my head is pushing here on the top of his knuckles or his fingers, while my hands are pulling this way. So it's basically making his hand do this, right? So I'm here and I push down, and I can even push forward towards him. And I keep my fingers there. I push my thumbs up against his knuckles as I make that transition, right? So it's here, protect my head, go down, push. As he pulls off, I push my finger or my thumbs against his fingers. Now, could he still hit with the other arm? Yes, he could. You gotta be careful for that and really watch. And when you see that start to go, crank the arm down. At least get him at a bad angle where he can't hit as well. Now, from there, you can do lots of things. You can turn and run if you want to be really mean. Slam into him, then run. You can kick. Lots of things, okay? So again, he grabs, grab. The ridge, that edge of your hand goes in on the bend of his wrist. Thumbs go here, push, pull down, kick, turn, run away. Anything else you want to add more? That's it. That's pretty simple. Let's grab the hair from the front. Now this one, grab the hair from behind. This one's a very tricky one to me, I feel like. Because there's so many unknowns, so many variables, and I hate being attacked from behind because you don't know what they're going to do. But let's say I'm standing here, he comes over, grabs my hair from behind. We follow the same rules as the front hair grab. So I take my hands, put them here. Now again, I want to protect my head because he's probably going to start hitting me with that arm. There's no reason for him not to do that. So I shield this over like a shield block or a shield stance. Now from there, I'm going to take one little step forward. I'm going to bend over and turn in the direction of his thumb. So if you see, he's got his thumb here, right? I know he's got his right hand's grabbing me, so I know his thumb's pointing this way. So that's the direction I'm going to turn. If he grabbed me with the other arm, other hand, I'd turn the other way. So here, I go down, turn, and come up. Okay? Kick, roll it over, get out of there. There are a few different ones I've seen like that, but let's work on this one today. We'll talk about some of the variations at the end. So he's got me grabbed, and unfortunately what's probably going to happen if he grabs me, he's probably going to pull back. So really before I can do anything, that pull's probably going to happen. So I have to get used to the idea of blocking that pressure, that pull, at the same time as stepping back. Right? Then turn and around. Pull it over. Okay? Still going to have to watch out for that arm. As you're coming around, that's the perfect shot for him to hit. So you're still going to really want to try to protect that head. So again, he grabs. Grab, grab. If he pulls you back, you step with it. If not, try to step forward. Most likely you're going to have to step back, come around, guard the head, up, grab it over, and there. And that is grab the hair from behind.